All right, we are going to now look at, this is day 3 of our factoring polynomials review. So we're going to have 2 or 3 videos to look at today on this. Not as many examples, and that's because we have done this before. What we're doing, it's just what we're going to do today is introducing one more wrinkle into it. All right, and so what you'll notice is different is today we are going to be talking about trinomials, all right, and factoring those, we'll be factoring those with the AC method and using our grouping, right? But we're going to deal with a leading coefficient that's not 1, right? So other than 1, and for the most part, I think all of these are going to be positive, and they're all going to be integers. So you can certainly have cases where that's not happening, right, where they're negative or not integers, but most of the time you're going to deal with something that's positive and an integer. So that's what our examples are going to look like. And hopefully by the time you've finished watching these, you will feel a little more confident on being able to factor these expressions using distributive property and grouping, and specifically our AC method, right? And then you'll do your practice on this. So let's get started. Let's do an example. All right, so well, we got to remember what's A, what's B, what's C, how that all works, right? So on this one, I'm gonna be really obvious. All right, this is A, this is our B right here, this is our A, and then this is our C. All right, so when we talk about our A method, our AC method, sorry, we're talking about multiplying A times C. So that means we're going to do A times C. And so if we're going to do that, we're going to take these numbers and multiply them by each other. So we have a 3 and we have a 4. And they're both positive. So we're going to go 3 times 4, and that is going to give me 12. And we're used to multiplying whatever this is times 1, right? So now we can see that that kind of changes things, all right? So my AC is 12, and if you remember the second step of this, right, so we just did our first step, which is multiply your A and C terms. Our second set is find the factors of AC, so this, that add up to your B term. Well, my B is positive 8, so I want to find 2 factors of 12, right, a pair of factors that will add up to 8. And so first of all, this is positive and this is positive, which means that both of my factors are going to be positive, right? Because if they were both negative, this would become positive, but this would be negative, right? And if I had one of each, this would be a negative, and so it wouldn't line up with what we have here. So the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. And if I add these up to see what they get, right? 1 and 12 is 13, 2 and 6 is 8, 3 and 4 is 7, and my B term is 8. So the winner chicken dinner here is going to be this one right here. This is the one we are going to use. So we are going to now do step 3, which is decompose this equation by rewriting it with B broken up into our factors from step number 2. So here are my factors from step number 2. So we're going to rewrite this. We're going to go 3x squared, and then I'm going to write these in green, plus 2x plus 6x, right? And so this right here, just to be clear, is that, right? 8x equals 2x plus 6x, right? That's how we got that. And then finish writing out your equation, plus 4. And now we will do our factor by grouping. So we'll bust this up right here, right? Kind of put a little fence up there. So we're going to factor out an x out of this first group. So we get 3x plus 2. And then out of the second group, we're going to factor out a 2, right? And when I do that, I get 3x plus 2 as well. And if you're not sure what to pull out, you could also say, well, I know I want to get this over here, so write that down first, and then see what you have to multiply this by to get your starting term, and a lot of times that works nicely. Okay, so now what we will do is we will do our distributive property, and we're going to pull both of these out right here, and so that's going to give me 3x plus 2. And then what do I have for my leftovers? Well, my leftovers are going to be this and this. So I just basically write them like that next to each other. X plus 2, even though that's positive 2, right? X plus 2. And at that point, you're pretty much done. What you always can do is you always can use FOIL, right, to simplify this and see what it is. So 3x times x, 3x squared, and this is just to check your work, all right? And then outside terms would be 2 times 2, right? Right? Oh, sorry, those were last. I always screw that up. Here's your outside terms. Your outside terms are 3x times 2, so that gives me 6x. All right? My inside terms are these two. Okay, so that's going to give me plus 2x. And then my last terms are 2 times 2, which is 4. So all I have to combine is this. That gives me 8x. And so 3x squared, check. Positive 8x, check. 4, check. All right, so that was just checking my work, right? But I'm a big fan of checking my work because I make mistakes. All right, and that's the way it goes. All right, so that's our little review here of how this works, right? And there was an example for you. I'm going to stop the video here, and then in the next video we will cover our last 2 examples. All right, so thanks for watching.